From before the beginning of this term, I have been keenly cognizant of people in wheelchairs, and I base all my designs first on accessibility. Furthermore, I am a big fan of angled and faceted buildings that fascinate the eyes by giving a veritably endless trail to follow and absorb. I wanted to explore these things with the design of my unit and to see what configurations would be optimal when aggregating these units. Here are a couple of images of what is known as the three-angle house that were an inspiration for the faceted structure. Absolutely beautiful. With the first assignment, I let my imagination fly, especially because I did not know that this assignment would progress with these structures being used as actual residential models. I wanted to use shapes which would result in intricate patterns and form those shapes into mini flights of fancy creations. What I created was entropy over order. I was temporarily preoccupied with the visual. Much research was then conducted to wrap my aesthetics within boundaries of sanity and the province of good design. This was done by viewing precedents and trying to make more objective decisions that had specific intentions accompanying and supporting said decisions. Subjective design decisions still occurred, but within the framework of the aforementioned intentions and the design goals of the assignment. But there was still too much going on, as you can see, and I definitely needed further refinement. I never wavered from having the structure be accessible, nor did I forget the desire for privacy. Light has always fascinated me, maybe because I like bright and shiny things, and is one of the most conversant, non-verbal methods for conveying concepts or stories, and humans seem to have been doing this for at least 1,500 years. An example would be the light which enters in from the dome atop the Hagia Sophia. I used this opportunity to design my model to provide the least amount of direct sunlight, thus reducing the solar heat gain and eliminating glare from the harsh Arizona sun by finding the sun's position and then calculating the length and position of overhangs and fins. Unfortunately, I also eliminated potentially good light in winter and possibly made the structure resistant to providing daylight autonomy so that electric lights might be needed even in the middle of the day in summer. Although you can see that my structure is much simpler and not so outlandish, more refinements were still needed. I have also been interested in greenhouses and their design since before I was a teenager, and controlling the apparent or perceived temperature is a central theme in the progression of my designs. I tried to provide areas of shade in order to create a more favorable microclimate by producing pressure differences which would then help increase air circulation and improve comfort. This is sometimes referred to as the courtyard effect or the stack process of cooling. Skylights. Through extensive research, I was able to find the best angle for an angled rooftop skylight to produce the greatest amount of light. Many of my revisions came from this research into buildings in hot, dry climates. Many of these articles refer to areas in the deserts of the Middle East. Keeping separate locations for work and home was important to help prevent what is called residential reversion, and this is when the working space slowly reverts back to a personal space. This would eliminate the tax benefits one gets when running a small business from home. The common areas. My main desire here was to have an amphitheater at which neighborhood fetes could occur. Local acting groups could perform, and the neighbors would have a nice place to sit, relax, and socialize as they desired. My intent was to make the area easily accessible for all persons, especially so for those in the neighborhood. Making it comfortable, even during the heat of the day, required increasing the humidity, decreasing direct sunlight by controlling shade and placement of thermal mass, providing better wind flow, and lastly, providing spaces to just be. Not everyone wants to be social, or they value traffic from outside the neighborhood to be more accessible for the work-at-home individuals, and 3 to 5 units have been distributed by increasing the distance from the entrance of these units' courtyards to the central common area. Yet these residences are not so far away as to prevent the inhabitants from the occasional dalliance into social congregational pursuits if desired. The heart of the neighborhood is the amphitheater. It employs several different methods for water conservation and the creation of cooler temperatures, such as being 4 feet below grade, light-colored cement benches covered by a pavilion-style structure with hundreds of holes, 2 artificial misting palm trees on either side of the stage, a wind tower on the east side, as well as many others. The services building, as well as the stage, blocks direct sunlight from the south. Furthermore, recycling water feature is present. A path starts at the southeast corner of the neighborhood and follows the contours of the water feature. The path is composed of decomposed granite mixed with resin, giving it a hardness similar to asphalt, but still remaining permeable. On the west side of the amphitheater can be found horizontal lattices. Weaved among the lattices is a hardy climbing ivy. As the semester went forward, I was able to hone my intentions, narrowing them from beauty and chaos to creative, intentional, provocative, compositional rigor. It was intended to utilize zones to synergize all of the separate parts into a whole, within which allowed for a potential partial reveal of oneself to the degree desired. This was a balancing act among the desire for privacy, adequate lighting, comfort, both thermal and otherwise, and opportunities to be social to whatever degree was desired, thus giving this neighborhood an identity which includes dynamic orderliness and emotional evocation.